Admiral Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of his ship, the UES Liberty. He looked out at the stars through the big window. His ship was the best that Earth had built. It was fast, strong, and carried the hopes of all humans who had left there. Home planet to explore space. Jake had been in space for 20 years. He had seen many things. He had fought pirates, helped build new colonies, and kept peace between different human groups. But he had never seen anything like what was coming toward them now. The space around them was empty and quiet. Then suddenly, it was not empty anymore. A huge ship appeared out of nowhere. It was bigger than anything Jake had ever seen. It was 3 times longer than his ship and looked like it was made for War. Commander Lisa Hayes sat at her station nearby. She was Jake's best officer. She had been with him for 10 years. Lisa was smart and calm, even when things got scary. Right now, she was watching her screens with wide eyes. "Admiral," Lisa said, "I'm getting readings from that ship. It's not like anything in our books. The energy levels are off the charts." Jake nodded. He had expected this day might come. Humans had been spreading across the galaxy for 50 years. They had found empty worlds and made them into homes. They had found old ruins from dead races. But they had never found anyone alive. Until now, Captain Ben Rodriguez was on another ship nearby, the UES Defender. His voice came through the radio. "Admiral, we're seeing the same thing. That ship is huge. Should we run?" Jake thought about it. Running might be smart. But humans were curious. They wanted to know who these aliens were. Maybe they could be friends. Maybe they could trade with each other. Maybe they could learn from each other. "No," Jake said. "We?" "Stay." We tried to talk to them. Dr. Amy Carter walked up to Jake's chair. She was a scientist who studied aliens. Not that there had been any aliens to study before today. Amy was young, but very smart. She had learned 20 different dead alien languages from old ruins. "Admiral," Amy said, "I'm trying to understand their language. My computer is working on it. Give me a few minutes." The alien ship just sat there in space. It did not move. It did not shoot. It just waited. Jake thought this was a good sign. Maybe they wanted to talk to Dot. Then the alien ship sent a message. It was not in any human language. It sounded harsh and angry. Amy's computer worked hard to change the alien words into English. When it was done, everyone on the bridge went quiet. "Weak race," the message said. "You are in our space now. You will give us your worlds. You will work for us. Your weapons. Our toys. Your ships are junk. Do what we say, or we will kill you all." Jake felt his heart sink. These aliens were not here to be friends. They were here to take over. They thought humans were weak and easy to beat. Captain Rodriguez's voice came through the radio again. "Admiral, did you hear that? They want us to surrender." Jake looked around his bridge. He saw Lisa working at her station. He saw Amy still trying to learn more about the aliens. He saw 20 other officers doing their jobs. These people had left Earth to find new worlds and build new lives. They had worked hard and faced many dangers. They were not weak. "Open a channel," Jake said. "Let me talk to them." Lisa pushed. Some buttons. "Channel open, Admiral." Jake spoke clearly and calmly. "This is Admiral Jake Morrison of the United Earth Space Command. We are peaceful explorers. We did not know this space belonged to anyone. We are willing to talk and work out any problems." The alien response came back quickly. This time, there was a picture with the sound. Jake saw a huge creature with 4 arms and skin like leather. It had red eyes and sharp teeth. It looked angry. "I am War Commander Vexthal of the Zephyrian Empire," the alien said. "We have ruled this part of space for 10,000 years. We have conquered hundreds of worlds. We have made slaves of many races. You will be next, Amy whispered to Jake. Admiral, I'm learning about their language. They use words that show they think they are better than everyone else. They have never lost a war. Jake thought about this. The Zephyrians were old and powerful. They had won many wars. They probably had better weapons and more ships. But Jake remembered something his grandfather had told him long ago. Sometimes the biggest, strongest bully was also the one who had gotten soft from always winning. War Commander, Jake said, we don't want to fight, but we also won't be slaves. Our people are free, and we plan to stay free. War Commander Vexthol laughed. It was not a nice laugh. Your people are nothing. We have watched you for weeks. You have small ships and weak weapons. You are like insects to us. We will crush you easily. Jake felt anger rise in his chest, but he kept his voice calm. Maybe, but insects can bite. The alien ship moved closer. Jake could see weapon ports opening on its sides. This was not going to end with talk. Admiral, Lisa said quietly, I'm detecting more ships coming. A lot more. Jake looked at his screens. She was right. 6 more alien ships were appearing. All of them were big and covered with weapons. All ships, Jake said. Into his radio, prepare for battle. This is not what we wanted, but it's what we've got. The War Commander's voice came through the speakers one more time. You have 1 hour to surrender. After that, we will destroy your ships and take your people as slaves. This is your only warning. The alien ships moved into attack positions. Jake looked at his small fleet. He had only 5 ships. The aliens had 7 ships, and each one was bigger than his flagship. But Jake had something the aliens didn't know about. He had humans, and humans had never learned how to give up. Lisa, Jake said, send a message to Earth. Tell them we've made contact. Tell them the Zephyrians want war. Lisa nodded and started typing. Jake looked out at the alien ships and smiled. Grimly, the Zephyrians thought this would be easy. They were about to learn that humans were full of surprises. The first shot of the war had not been fired yet, but Jake knew it was coming. And when it did, the galaxy would never be the same. War Commander Vexthol did not wait for the hour to pass. He was angry that these small humans had dared to talk back to him. No one had ever refused the Zephyrian Empire before. These insects needed to learn their place. Fire, he ordered. The alien ships opened fire with bright blue beams. The beams cut through space like swords of light. They hit the human ships hard. The U.S. Liberty shook like a leaf in a storm. Lights went out. People fell down. Alarms screamed. Admiral Jake Morrison held onto his chair as his ship rocked back and forth. Damage report, he shouted. Hull breach. On deck 7, Lisa called out. Weapons are down to 60%. Shields are failing. Jake gritted his teeth. The alien weapons were much stronger than anything humans had seen before. 1 shot from the aliens did as much damage as 10 shots. From human weapons. Captain Rodriguez's voice came through the radio. It was hard to hear through the static. Admiral, the Defender is badly hurt. We can't take many more hits like that. Jake looked at his screens. The alien ships were moving closer. They were taking their time. They wanted to enjoy watching this. Humans die slowly. All ships scatter pattern Delta, Jake ordered. Don't let them hit us all at once. The human ships spread out in different directions. This made it harder for the aliens to hit them all. But it also made it harder for the humans to work together. Dr. Amy Carter was on the floor, blood running from a cut on her head. She pulled herself up and looked at her computer. Admiral, I'm getting readings from their weapons. They're using plasma technology. It's much more advanced than our lasers. Jake helped Amy to her feet. Can we fight back? Our weapons are hitting. They're shields. Amy said. "But we're not doing much damage. It's like trying to break a brick wall with a hammer." The alien ships fired again. This time, they hit the UES Boston. The ship exploded in a ball of fire. 50 humans died in that 1 second. Captain Rodriguez's voice was shaking now. "Admiral, we have to run. We can't win this fight." Jake wanted to run too, but he knew the aliens would follow them. They would chase the humans back to Earth. They would destroy every human colony along the way. "Negative," Jake said. "We hold the line here. Send the message to Earth. Tell them what we're facing." Lisa was working at her station, even though blood was dripping from her nose. "Message sent, Admiral. But it will take 3 days to reach Earth." 3 days. Jake knew his small fleet would not last 3 hours against these aliens. But maybe they could learn something that would help Earth later. "Target their lead ship," Jake ordered. "All weapons." The remaining human ships fired everything they had. Lasers, missiles, and railguns all hit the war commander's ship. The alien shields glowed bright blue as they absorbed the attacks. "War commander." Vexthal laughed as he watched the human weapons bounce off his shields. "Is that all you have?" "My ship has taken no damage at all." But Jake was watching carefully. He saw something the alien commander missed. For just a moment, when all the human weapons hit at once, the alien shields flickered. They were strong, but not perfect. "Amy," Jake said quietly, "did you see that?" Amy nodded. "Their shields have a cycle. They get weaker for a split second. Every few minutes. Can we use that?" "Maybe, but we'd need perfect timing. And we'd need all our ships to fire at exactly the same moment." Jake thought about this. It was a slim chance. But it was better than no chance at all. The alien ships fired again. This time, they hit the UES Denver. The ship's engines exploded, and it started spinning out of control. The crew was still alive, but they were out of the fight. 3 ships left, Captain Rodriguez said. "Admiral, we have to try something different." Jake made his decision. "All ships form up on me. We're going to ram them, Admiral." Lisa looked shocked. "That's suicide." "Maybe," Jake said. "But if we're going to die, let's make it count." The 3 remaining human ships flew straight at the alien fleet. The aliens were surprised by this move. They had expected the humans to run away or surrender. "Foolish," War Commander Vexthal said. "They think they can hurt us by crashing into our ships. Our shields will stop them." But Jake had a different plan. "Amy, how long until their shields cycle?" Amy watched her computer. 30 seconds. 25. 20. The alien ships fired again. The U's Phoenix took a direct hit and exploded. Captain Rodriguez's voice was cut off in the middle of a word. 10 seconds, Amy said. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now. Jake pushed his ship's engines to maximum power. The U's Liberty shot forward like a bullet. At the same time, the UE's Defender did the same thing. The alien shields flickered for just 1 second. In that second, both human ships crashed into the War Commander's vessel. The explosion was huge. It lit up space like a new sun. The War Commander's ship was badly damaged. Its shields were down. Its weapons were offline. But the 2 human ships were completely destroyed. Jake Morrison and Lisa Hayes died in the explosion, along with 300 other humans. War Commander Vexthal was hurt, but alive. He was angry now. These humans had actually damaged his ship. No one had ever done that before. "Send a message to the Emperor," he ordered. "Tell him we need more ships. These humans are not as weak as we thought." The message traveled across space to the Zephyrian home world. Emperor Kruk's volume was old and had ruled for 1,000 years. He had conquered many races. Most of them had surrendered after the first battle, When he heard about the human attack, Emperor Krexvolume was curious. They crashed their ships into ours? How strange. Most races try to run away when they see our power. Yes, my Emperor, War Commander Vexthal said. They fought like wild animals. They showed no fear. Emperor Krexvolume thought about this. Send more ships. But be careful. Any race that fights without fear might have other surprises. Back at Earth, a message from Admiral Morrison finally arrived. General Carl Wright read it with growing alarm. The aliens were powerful, aggressive, and heading toward human space. How long do we have? Asked Colonel Steve Parker. The message is 3 days old, General Wright said. If Morrison's fleet lost, the aliens might already be attacking our colonies. He was right. War Commander Vexthal had already moved on to the next human world. New Athens was a peaceful colony with 50,000 people. They had no military ships, only cargo vessels and mining equipment. The attack on New Athens lasted only 2 hours. The colonists tried to fight back with whatever they had, but plasma weapons against mining lasers was no contest. The Zephyrians killed 10,000 humans and took the rest as slaves. Lieutenant Kate Davis was on one of the cargo ships trying to evacuate civilians. She sent a final message before the aliens destroyed her ship. They're not just conquering us. They're studying how we fight. They want to know our weaknesses. The message reached Earth just as General Wright was planning the defense. Now he knew the truth. The aliens were not just trying to destroy humanity. They were trying to understand humanity. And that might be the key to fighting back. Dr. Amy Carter's research had died with her. But she had sent her findings to Earth. Before the last battle, the aliens were powerful, but they were also predictable. They always fought the same way. They had never faced anyone who could adapt and change. General Wright looked at the star charts. The aliens were heading toward Earth, destroying every human colony along the way, but they were taking their time. They thought they had already won. Maybe, General Wright said to himself, it's time to show them what humans do when they're backed into a corner. The real war was just beginning. General Carl Wright stood in the command center deep under the moon's surface. Around him, screens showed the sad truth. 23 human colonies had fallen to the Zephyrian Empire. Millions of humans were dead or enslaved. The alien fleet was getting closer to Earth every day, but Carl was not giving up. He had spent 3 weeks studying every piece of information from the lost battles. He had talked to every survivor. He had learned something important. The aliens always fought the same way. They're too proud, Carl said to his officers. They think they're so much better than everyone else that they don't need to change their tactics. Colonel Steve Parker nodded. Admiral Morrison's last message said their shields have a cycle. Dr. Carter found their weak point before she died. Carl looked at the holographic display showing the alien fleet. War Commander Vexthal had 200 ships now. More aliens had joined him after hearing about the human resistance. They wanted to be part of crushing these annoying insects. Sir, Lieutenant Kate Davis said. She was one of the few survivors from New Athens. I've been analyzing the attack. Patterns. They always come in the same formation. Triangle shape, big ships in front, smaller ships behind. Carl studied the data. Kate was right. In every battle, the aliens did the same thing. They flew in a triangle, fired their plasma weapons, and waited for the enemy to surrender. It had worked for 10,000 years. What if we don't do what they expect? Carl asked. Captain Sarah Kim was the best pilot in the human fleet. She had been testing new ship designs based on captured alien technology. General, we've been building ships all wrong. We tried to make them tough enough to take hits. But what if we made them fast enough to not get hit at all? Carl liked this idea. Show me. Sarah led him to the shipyard. There, workers were building. Something that looked more like a dart than a spaceship. It was small, fast, and covered with weapons. "We call it the Viper," Sarah said. "It can't take much damage, but it's 3 times faster than anything we've built before, and it has a surprise." She pressed a button. The Viper's hull opened up, revealing a smaller ship inside. It's got a parasitic fighter. When the Viper gets close to an enemy ship, the fighter detaches and goes inside through weapon ports or engine exhausts. Carl smiled for the first time. "In weeks? Brilliant. How many can we build?" "We've got 50 ready now. 100 more in 2 weeks." But Carl knew they didn't have 2 weeks. The alien fleet would reach Earth in 5 days. They would have to fight with what they had. Captain Ben Rodriguez had survived the first battle by ejecting from his ship at the last second. Now he was commanding a new ship, the UES Defender II. "General, I've been thinking about what Admiral Morrison did. He found a way to damage their shields by ramming them," Carl said. "It cost us everything, but it worked. What if we could do the same thing without dying?" Carl looked at the young captain. Ben had lost a lot of friends in the first battle. He wanted revenge, but he also wanted to survive. "Tell me more." Ben pulled up a diagram on his tablet. "The aliens expect us to fight at long range. They have better weapons, so they want to keep us far away. But what if we got in close? Real close? Their shields ... would be useless. Shields are designed to stop big attacks from far away. They can't stop something small that's already inside the shield bubble." Carl saw where this was going. The Vipers. Exactly. "We use the big ships to distract them, then send in the Vipers. They get inside the shield perimeter and attack from close range." It was a desperate plan. But Carl knew desperate times called for desperate measures. Meanwhile, on the alien flagship, War Commander Vic Still was meeting with his officers. They were planning the final attack on Earth. "The humans have pulled all their ships back to their home system," reported Sub-Commander Krelthar. "They have maybe 80 ships total. We have 200. War Commander Vexthal looked at the tactical display. The human ships were arranged in a defensive formation around Earth and Mars. Looked like they were going to make their last stand. "Pathetic," he said. "They should have surrendered weeks ago. Now they will all die." But Grand Admiral Ziegmar, watching from the Empire's capital world, was not so sure. "War Commander, these humans have shown they are unpredictable. Do not underestimate them. With respect, Grand Admiral, they are primitives. They fight with kinetic weapons and nuclear fusion. We fight with plasma and antimatter. There is no contest." Zekmar had been a warrior for 2,000 years. He had seen many races fall to the Empire. But something about these humans bothered him. They kept fighting when they should have given up. "Be careful, War Commander. Pride has been the downfall of many generals." War Commander Vexthal was not listening. He was already planning his victory parade on the human homeworld. Back on Earth, the final preparations were underway. Dr. Amy Carter's research had been given to Dr. Tom Baker, Earth's best engineer. He had been working non-stop to build new weapons. "General," Tom reported, "we figured out how to make our weapons work better against their shields. It's all about timing and frequency." "Explain." "Their shields pulse at a specific rate. If we can match that rate and fire at exactly the right moment, we can get through. It's like finding the right key for a lock." Carl nodded. "How many ships can we upgrade?" "All of them. But it will take precise coordination. Every ship has to fire at exactly the same time." This was the plan. The human fleet would engage the aliens in what looked like a traditional battle. While the aliens were focused on the big ships, the Vipers would sneak in close. At the right moment, everything would fire at once, using the New frequency weapons to punch through the alien shields. It was complex, risky, and had never been tried before. In other words, it was perfectly human. Captain Mike Chun was commanding one of the Vipers. He had volunteered for the mission, even though everyone knew it was basically suicide. "General, we're ready to go." Carl looked at the young pilot. Mike was only 25 years old. He should have been starting a family, not preparing to die for his species. But that was what the aliens had forced on them. "Remember," Carl said, "stay hidden until the main fleet engages. Then get in close and hit them where it hurts." Mike nodded. "What if the plan doesn't work?" Carl was quiet for a moment. "Then we improvise. That's what humans do best." The alien fleet dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the solar system. War Commander Vexthul looked at his screens and laughed. The humans had arranged their ships in a defensive line, just like he expected. "All ships, advance in battle formation," he ordered. "This ends today." The two fleets moved toward each other. The aliens flew in their traditional triangle formation, confident in their superior firepower. The humans spread out in a loose line, looking scared and desperate. War Commander Vexthul was already composing his victory message to the Emperor. These humans would make excellent slaves. They were tough and stubborn, perfect for hard labor. But General Wright was watching from the Moon Command Center, and he was smiling. The aliens were doing exactly what he had hoped they would do. "All ships," he said into his communicator, "remember the plan. Make them think we're fighting the old way. Then show them what humans really do when they're angry." The two fleets were almost in weapons range. In a few minutes, the battle would begin. War Commander Vexthul thought it would be over quickly. Was about to learn that humans were full of surprises. The battle began at exactly 1430 Earth time. War Commander Vexthul gave the order to fire, and 200 alien ships opened up with their plasma weapons. The space between the fleets lit up with deadly blue beams. General Carl Wright watched from the Moon Command Center as the alien attack hit his fleet. Ships shook and sparked as plasma beams struck their shields. But the human ships held their formation and fired back with everything they had. Captain Sarah Kim, flying her Viper fighter, was hidden behind an asteroid near Mars. She could see the main battle, but she was waiting for the right moment. "All Viper pilots, hold position," she whispered into her radio. "Wait for the signal." The alien weapons were more powerful than anything humans had ever faced. The Hughes Montana took a direct hit and exploded into pieces. Captain Rick Foster and his crew of 200 people died instantly. "We're losing ships fast," reported Colonel Steve Parker from the Orbital Defense Station. "At this rate, we'll be wiped out in an hour." General Wright stayed calm. "Stick to the plan. Make them think we're fighting the old way." War Commander Vexthul was pleased as he watched human ships explode one after another. "These insects are even weaker than I thought. Continue the attack." But Captain Ben Rodriguez, commanding the UES Defender II, was watching the alien formation carefully. The aliens were moving forward in their triangle pattern, just like they always did. They were predictable. "General," Ben said over the radio, "they're getting closer, almost in range for Phase 2. General Wright checked his screens. The alien ships were exactly where he wanted them. "All ships, prepare for Pattern Omega. Vipers, stand by." Captain Mike Chun gripped his fighter's controls. He was leading 12 Viper fighters toward the alien fleet. They were flying low and fast, using the wreckage of destroyed human ships as cover. "Stay close to the debris," Mike told his pilots. "Don't let them see us coming." The main human fleet suddenly changed tactics. Instead of fighting in a line, they scattered in all directions. Some ships flew up, others down, others sideways. The neat battle formation became chaos. War. Commander Vexthal was confused. What are they doing? This makes no sense. Sub-Commander Krelther checked his sensors. Sir, they're not running away. They're surrounding us. This was something the aliens had never seen before. In every battle they had fought, the enemy either ran away or fought in organized formations. But these humans were fighting like a swarm of angry bees. No matter, War Commander Vexthal said. We'll destroy them wherever they are. But now the human ships were attacking from all directions. The aliens had to split their fire, weakening their attacks. Some alien ships even shot at each other. By mistake as they tried to track the fast-moving human vessels. Captain Sarah Kim saw her chance. All Vipers, attack run Alpha. Go, go, go. The small fighter ships shot out from their hiding places. They were so fast that the alien sensors barely detected them. By the time the aliens realized what was happening, the Vipers were already inside their defensive perimeter. Impossible. War Commander Vexthal shouted. How did they get so close? Mike Chun's Viper flew straight at the alien flagship. Plasma. Binge shot past his tiny fighter, but he was moving too fast and erratically for them to hit him. He fired his weapons at point-blank range, punching holes in the alien hull. This is for Admiral Morrison, Mike said as his weapons tore into the alien ship. Other Viper pilots were doing the same thing. They flew between the big alien ships, shooting at engines, weapons, and command centers. The aliens couldn't use their heavy weapons without hitting their own ships. War Commander Vexthal's flagship shuddered as human weapons tore into it. Get these pests away from us. But the humans had more surprises. Captain Ben Rodriguez's ship suddenly opened up like a flower, revealing a dozen smaller fighters hidden inside. Other human ships did the same thing. Parasitic fighters launching. Ben announced, "Give them hell, people." The small human fighters flew straight into the alien ship's exhaust ports and weapon openings. Once inside, they began destroying the aliens from within. Lieutenant Kate Davis was piloting one of these fighters. She flew her tiny ship through the corridors of an alien cruiser, shooting at everything she could find. "I'm inside their ship," she reported. "Their internal defenses are almost nothing." This was something the aliens had never planned for. Their ships were designed to fight other big ships in space battles. They had never imagined that enemy fighters would actually get inside their hulls. War. Commander Vexthal watched in growing panic as his fleet fell apart. Ships were exploding from the inside. Others were being torn apart by the swarming human fighters. His perfect formation was in ruins. "All ships, retreat to long range," he ordered. "Reform the battle line." But the humans weren't letting them retreat. The main human fleet, led by Captain Rodriguez, charged straight at the alien formation. At the same time, all the human ships synchronized their weapons to fire at exactly the same moment. Dr. Tom Baker's frequency weapon modification worked perfectly. When every human ship fired at once, their combined firepower punched through. The alien shields like they were made of paper. The War Commander's flagship took dozens of direct hits. Systems exploded, hull plates flew off, and the mighty ship began to list to one side. "Sir," Sub-Commander Krelther reported, "we've lost 60% of our weapons. Shields are down to 30%. War Commander Vexthal couldn't believe what he was seeing. His powerful fleet was being destroyed by a smaller force of primitive humans. It was impossible. "Send an emergency message to Grand Admiral Zikmar," he ordered. "Tell him we need immediate reinforcements." But Grand Admiral Zikmar was already on his way. He had been watching the battle from a distance, and he was shocked by what he saw. The Eternal Fleet, the most powerful military force in the galaxy, was being deployed to fight a single human world. "Prepare for hyperspace jump," Zikmar ordered. These humans have made their last mistake. Back in the battle, Captain Sarah Kim was coordinating the Viper attacks. Her small fighters were buzzing around the alien ships like mosquitoes, stinging them wherever they were weakest. Focus on their command ships, she told her pilots. Cut the head off the snake. Mike Chun's Viper had taken damage, but he was still fighting. He flew his battered ship straight at the alien flagship's bridge. For humanity, he said, and crashed his fighter into the command center. The explosion knocked War Commander Vexthul unconscious. When he woke up, his bridge was on fire and half his officers were dead. Through the smoke, he could see human ships everywhere. Sir, a surviving officer reported, "We've lost over half our fleet. The humans are destroying us." War Commander Vexthul had never lost a battle in his entire career. He had conquered dozens of worlds. But these humans fought like nothing he had ever seen. "Retreat," he ordered. "All ships, retreat to the outer system." The remaining alien ships tried to pull back, but the humans followed them. Captain Rodriguez led the charge, his ship's weapons blazing. Don't let them escape. Press the attack. General Wright watched from the moon as the alien fleet fell back in disorder. For the first time in weeks, he allowed himself to hope. Maybe humans could actually win this war. But then the space around Earth lit up with new hyperspace signatures. Grand Admiral Ziegmar had arrived with the Eternal Fleet. Over 1,000 alien ships appeared in formation, their weapons already charging. "All human ships," came a new voice over the communication channels. "This is Grand Admiral Ziegmar of the Eternal Fleet. You have committed crimes against the Galactic Order. Your punishment is extinction." General Wright looked at his screens. The humans had won the first battle, but now they faced an enemy 10 times larger than before. The real test was just beginning. Captain Rodriguez, his ship damaged but still fighting, opened a channel to all human forces. "Well, people, looks like they brought their big brothers. But we've shown them that humans don't give up. Let's show them what else we can do." The space around Earth was about to become the site of the largest battle in human history. And despite the impossible odds, the humans were ready to fight. 6 months after the failed Zilani invasion, Dr. Richard Hayes stood in a laboratory filled with alien technology. The room buzzed with activity as human scientists worked to understand devices that had been built by civilizations thousands of years more advanced than Earth. "Status report," he called to his team. "We have successfully reverse-engineered the faster-than-light drive," reported Dr. Nancy Davis, the project's lead engineer. "The first test flights should be ready within the month." "What about the communication systems?" "Even better news. We have tapped into the Galactic Communication Network. We can now monitor conversations between alien species across the galaxy." Dr. Hayes nodded with satisfaction. The captured Zilani equipment had given humanity access to technology that would have taken centuries to develop naturally. But more importantly, it had given them access to information about the galaxy beyond Earth. "Have you been able to decode the historical records?" "Yes, and you are not going to like what we found." Dr. Nancy Davis brought up a holographic display showing a timeline of galactic history. According to these records, Earth has been visited by alien species at least 7 times over the past 50,000 years. 7 times? But we have no record of any of these visits. That is because each visiting species tried to destroy humanity completely. They were not interested in conquest or communication. They wanted to wipe us out entirely. The display showed star maps and battle reports from ancient conflicts. Dr. Hayes studied them with growing amazement. The first contact was with a species called the Vorthan Empire. They sent a fleet of over 100 ships to destroy Earth when humans had just invented agriculture. According to these records, the battle lasted for 50 years. What happened to the Vorthan Empire? They do not exist anymore. The records indicate that humans not only defeated the invasion, but also hunted down every Vorthan colony and eliminated the species entirely. Double quotes, Dr. Hayes felt a chill. Our ancestors did that with primitive technology? It gets worse. The second invasion came from the Kree Collective. They attacked Earth during the Bronze Age. The humans of that time used captured Kree technology to build their own space fleet and launched a counterattack that destroyed the Collective. The pattern was clear and terrifying. Every alien species that had tried to destroy humanity had been eliminated in return. But the humans had not stopped with simple revenge. They had learned from each encounter, becoming more dangerous with each conflict. The Galactic Council was formed after the third human counterattack, Dr. Davis continued. Their primary purpose was to contain humanity before we could spread across the galaxy, so the quarantine was not to protect us. It was to protect everyone else. Exactly. The Council has been monitoring Earth for 50,000 years, making sure that humans never developed faster-than-light travel. They have been interfering with our development, preventing us from making certain technological breakthroughs. Doctor Hayes thought about all the scientists throughout history who had been on the verge of major discoveries, only to have their work destroyed by accidents or funding cuts. How many of those setbacks had been caused by alien interference? But the quarantine has failed, he said. Yes, the Zelani attack gave us access to the technology we needed to break free. And now the Council knows that containment is no longer possible. Meanwhile, in a secure facility beneath the Pentagon, General Patricia Morgan was meeting with world leaders via encrypted video conference. The people on the screen represented every major nation on Earth, and their expressions were grim. The alien fleet we detected 6 months ago has arrived at the edge of the system, she reported. Over 200 ships from at least 20 different species. They are demanding that we surrender all captured technology and return to our pre-contact technology level. What is our response? Asked the President of the United States. We have prepared a counteroffer. We will not surrender our technology. We will not return to primitive conditions. And we will not allow any alien species to threaten Earth again. The British Prime Minister leaned forward. General, are you suggesting that we go to war with the entire galaxy? I am suggesting that we make it clear to the galaxy that Earth is not a target. We are not victims. We are not primitives to be conquered or contained. We are a civilization that will defend itself against any threat. The Chinese premier asked, what about the galactic community? Surely there must be peaceful species that we can negotiate with. General Morgan smiled grimly. According to the intelligence we have gathered, the galactic community has been using species like the Zelani to eliminate threats for thousands of years. They do not negotiate with dangerous species. They eliminate them. Then what do you propose? We show them that we are more dangerous than they imagined. We demonstrate that attacking Earth comes with a price that no species is willing to pay. The plan that General Morgan outlined was audacious and terrifying. Humanity would not wait for the alien fleet to attack. They would strike first, using captured technology and human tactical thinking to defeat an enemy that outnumbered them 100 to 1. The element of surprise will only work once, she explained. After this battle, the entire galaxy will know what humans are capable of. We need to make sure that knowledge serves as a deterrent. 3 days later, the largest space battle in galactic history began. The alien fleet approached Earth, expecting to face a primitive species with stolen technology. Instead, they found themselves fighting an enemy that had been preparing for this moment for decades. The humans did not fight like other species. They did not form neat battle lines or follow traditional tactics. Instead, they used strategies that no alien species had ever encountered. Human ships appeared to retreat, only to lead pursuing aliens into carefully prepared ambushes. Captured alien vessels, now operated by human crews, turned their weapons on former allies. Most disturbing of all, the humans seemed to anticipate every alien tactic before it was employed. Captain Vera Zixnala, now serving as an advisor to the human military, watched the battle from the command center beneath Colorado. She had spent the past 6 months studying human military history, and she finally understood why her people had failed. "They are not just fighting a battle," she said to General Morgan. "They are conducting an experiment. Every engagement is designed to test alien capabilities and develop countermeasures." "That is correct," General Morgan replied. "This is not just about winning this battle. This is about learning everything we can about galactic military technology and tactics." The battle raged for 3 days. When it was over, the alien fleet had been completely destroyed. Not a single ship escaped to report back to the Galactic Council, but the humans had achieved something more important than victory. They had acquired the technology and knowledge needed to take their war to the stars. Dr. Lisa Grant, now working as a researcher for the human military, stood in the observatory, watching the construction of humanity's first interstellar battleship. The vessel was enormous, built using a combination of human engineering and alien technology. "What will you call it?" asked Dr. Hayes. "The Retribution," Lisa replied. "It is the first of 50 ships that will carry human forces to every alien world that participated in the attack on Earth. And after that? After that, humanity will make sure that no species ever threatens Earth again. We will establish bases throughout the galaxy. We will monitor alien civilizations for signs of hostility, and we will respond to any threat with overwhelming force." Dr. Hayes looked troubled. "Lisa, you are describing a campaign of galactic conquest." "No, I am describing a campaign of galactic security. Humans have learned that the universe is a dangerous place. They have also learned that the best way to ensure their survival is to make sure that everyone else is too afraid to threaten them." The truth was becoming clear to everyone who studied the situation. Humanity had not been quarantined to protect them from the galaxy. They had been quarantined to protect the galaxy from them. But the quarantine was broken, and humanity was free to explore the stars. The galaxy was about to discover why Earth had been avoided for 50,000 years. In the final weeks before the launch of the human fleet, intercepted communications from across the galaxy painted a picture of growing panic. Species that had ruled star systems for millennia were abandoning their colonies and fleeing to the galactic core. The Galactic Council was in chaos, with member species demanding protection from the human threat, but there was no protection. Humanity had studied every alien species that had participated in the attack on Earth. They knew their strengths, their weaknesses, their homeworld locations, and their military capabilities. The war that was coming would not be a battle between equals. It would be a demonstration of what happened when a species that had spent 50,000 years perfecting warfare was finally given access to the galaxy. The last message received from the Galactic Council was a desperate plea for mercy. It was ignored. Humanity had spent centuries looking up at the stars and wondering if they were alone. Now they knew the truth. They were not alone, but they were unique. They were the species that the galaxy had feared for 50,000 years. Now they were coming home. The age of human expansion had begun, and the galaxy would never be the same.